5, okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Board of Public Works meeting. Today is Monday, May the 19th. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Test, test. Can you hear me back there? Well, while we resolve some technical difficulties, we can go ahead and do roll call. We are streaming live and archiving the meeting on the City of Madison's YouTube channel, so we'll ask our clerk treasurer for a roll call.
Carl Evelyn.
Here.
Bob Courtney.
Here.
And Dave Carlo.
Here.
Board, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes from May 5th? Please, if so, entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion we approve the minutes as printed.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And moving on to claims.
Mayor, I had an opportunity to review both sets of claims, the general claims and the payroll docket, and I'll make a motion that the claims be approved as submitted.
I'll second David's motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. No adjustments, so we'll move right into new business. Well, guess Joe is not here this morning, so clerk, you want to read these, or by the I think we just need to read the titles.
Sure. Sorry. Okay, Resolution 2025-23B, establishing American Legion. Resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, establishing the American Legion Way.
Yes, happy to be the presenting person on this on behalf of the American Legion to create an honorarium for Milton Street and name it American Legion Way. So there will be a sign on Milton Street designating it not only Milton Street but American Legion Way.
Mayor, it seems appropriate that American Legion has been in that location for years, probably over 40 years.
Yeah.
And for all the good that they do in a community with their public service and philanthropy, and I think it's appropriate. So.
Anybody here with the American Legion, by the way? Hearing none? Okay, seeing none. I'll move that we approve Resolution 2025-23B.
I'll second your motion.
Any discussion?
The only thing I suggest then that we look at the veterans on the hill, their unit up there. Maybe in the future, maybe we can do the same thing for them.
The VFW?
The VFW.
I believe that street is a county road, which is why we didn't include it here, but definitely open to it.
Okay. Well, then we'll work with the county on that.
Yep.
Then.
Yes.
Okay.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Resolution 2025-24B, a resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding street closings for the Juneteenth picnic at Lanier Mansion.
And Sue Livers is here on behalf of the Friends of Lanier Mansion. And it would be Vine Street from 2nd Street to the north side of the Visitor Center parking lot, basically where the food vendors have parked in the past, but
We didn't close the
in the past, we didn't close the street, so there was a lot of traffic there. And the way they had the vendors facing out was problematic, so I think this is probably what you're trying to correct.
Right.
From 2 to 7 p.m. Anything else to add, Sue?
That's the only change.
Board, do you have any questions for Sue?
It's basically the same footprint as last year.
Right,
So,
right.
other than the street closing. Yeah, I make
Sue
a
would-
motion that we approve. I'm sorry, David, go ahead.
Could you just maybe elaborate a little bit on your activities and what's going to be going on?
I can go through all of them. Or,
He's really interested in the 5K.
oh, good.
Yeah,
I'm interested in the food.
yeah, I'm just wondering what kind of activities you're
Full day
doing.
of activity.
Okay, there are 3 days of activity.
Okay.
So what we just talked about here was Sunday, but I'll go back to Saturday. Saturday is the 5K run walk, and it starts at 8, actually. We close the street prior to that. And it starts on Broadway and ends on Broadway. It goes through the old colored section of Madison, around 6th Street, down through the cemetery, because there were homes in the cemetery when I was younger. And up Elm Street and through the colored section of John Paul Park. And you're probably too young to remember this, but the park was segregated as well. To go past Noble Whitehead's home, who was the first black to actually play softball or baseball, I'm not sure, whatever men play, at Indiana University. Wasn't allowed to travel or stay with the team, so they would have to find him a place to stay otherwise. It'll go past his home, past Larry and Bugsy and Willie's home. It'll go also past Mr. Guess's house, who was one of the first principals at Broadway School. Then up that tiny little hill on the inside of the park to 3rd Street, down 3rd Street.
That tiny little hill? When you're actually running the 5K, it didn't feel that tiny.
It's kind of a challenging course.
There's two really good hills in it. The one going up 6th Street actually is,
Yeah, it's
up to 6 is really
it's a 45
pretty challenging. At that
degree-
point in time of the
Yeah,
5K,
it's
Nicholas
going.
knows what I'm talking about.
And then Elm Street as well is a nice little incline. And then it's 2 loops. Comes down Poplar Street, which used to be, back in the day, was one of the main streets for Madison. Poplar went all the way through. And that's, it was, the hospital closed that part of the street. It'll come through there and then end up again at Broadway School, the first commission colored school in the state of Indiana. And I might add, there were probably 75 applicants of students that applied for the Broadway Alumni School scholarship, two $450 scholarships that went into action at the first Broadway reunion. And of those 75 students, it's kind of sad to say that only about 15 of that group actually knew that the school was not the Brown Gym. They're required to write a 200-word essay about the impact of the school on the city. So I'm glad that we do that and we bring that to their attention. But it's amazing that the kids in high school do not realize that the park was actually a school area.
They probably don't teach a lot of local history. They're
Yeah.
reading out of a history book, but not local history much.
Right. And we have such a rich history here, actually.
Yeah, and you kind of already touched on the next resolution. We haven't finished this one yet, but the next one, which you were asking about, was the activities, and she went play-by-play on the course, which I think was a strong invitation for you to sign up for the 5K.
And you can walk it. And then Sunday is the picnic at the Lanier Mansion. Music by Walnut Street Blues Band, vendors. We have several vendors that actually have their permits. And, but what else? Oh, dancing and lots of handouts, lots of educational material. And then Monday, we have a book signing and a book discussion by Eileen Yanukovic. I think I'm saying that, I'm probably not saying it right, who wrote a story about the African Americans in the Civil War that includes a portion of Madison. So, those are
You got some Madison history in there, in that
Some,
book, is that?
Yeah,
Yeah, great.
It's more about the nursing part of it, but the Civil War cavalry that was in Indiana.
So you got 3 full days of activities.
Yeah.
Great.
So I think we covered all the closings for both.
Oh, well, let's go through them. Carl, you were about to make a motion, I think, to approve the 2025-24B
Yes.
resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-24B.
I'll second it. Any discussion, comments, or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Now we'll go into the 5K course, which you outlined, same course as last year.
And this year, the award, I think I already told you this maybe, but the award is actually a replica of George D. Baptiste.
You mentioned a lot of homes, and a friend of mine who I worked with at Con Oregon, Frank Inskeep,
Yes,
he was a nice fellow.
Frank brought the NAACP,
Mhm.
he and Will Cosby,
That's
to
right.
Madison.
And his brother was Leroy,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, we worked together at Con
Dwight
Oregon.
still
Both
lives down there,
Nice
doesn't he?
people. I'd go down there at John Paul Park and watch him play softball.
Uh-huh.
Frank
They were-
was a left-handed first baseman with Eddie Whitehead.
The
team.
Madison integrated the softball teams in the state of Kentucky.
That's right.
They were the first to play against a team of white students there. And
Eddie and
Oh,
Frank and those
gosh.
guys played against the Cincinnati Reds when they would come into Madison.
and the Monarchs as well.
And the Monarchs as well.
But I can't.
Yeah.
Mr. Chandler, I can't think of his name. Anyhow, he was the coach at the time, and he took a busload of students to Louisville, and they said that they could not play.
That's sad.
Cole,
Okay, Cole.
yeah.
Part of the
And
Cole
they could
family.
not play, and he said, well, we're going home. And they decided, they had such a large group of people there, they would not let them. And also, I might add this too, while I'm up here, and have the mic. Before Jesse Owens, it was in the Olympics, Reverend Gaines' grandson had an opportunity to actually participate in the Olympics, but because of the way things were at that time, she would not let Homer actually participate, and that's for Madison as well. Let me be quiet now.
Yep, it's all good history to have.
Oh, good history.
Do we have a motion for approval of 2025-2025?
I'll make a motion that we,
Did you want me to read that one, the title of that one? I've not read that one yet.
Oh, yeah, go ahead if you want.
Oh, sure. Resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana regarding street closings for Juneteenth 5K run/walk.
I'll make a motion we approve resolution 2025-25B.
I'll second David's motion.
Any discussion, comments, or questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you
I
very much,
appreciate
Sue.
it.
Thank
Look
you for the
forward to it.
history lesson.
It's a great 5K.
It is.
Nicholas Schaefer is here to represent the Madison Area Run Club.
Good morning.
Okay, so the Resolution 2025-26B, a resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana regarding street closings for a firecracker 10K.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Will this be the third year for the Madison Area Run Club to host the
Fourth or fifth?
firecracker?
Yeah.
Fourth? Wow.
Time flies.
It's gone
when you're having
fast,
fun.
and it's been
Yeah.
very popular. The course is great. Same course as all the prior years.
Yep.
Anything else to add about this, Nicholas, that might be different from prior years?
This year, it's going to look a lot like it did. Awards will change it just a little bit. Trying to upscale those just a hair, but other than that, should be good.
I think Tammy is working on the NDOT approval for that portion
Okay.
of the street closure that's actually part of State Highway 7. So we don't expect any issues with that. Board, do you have any questions for Nicholas?
I guess you don't have any applications on you, so.
I don't, but I will let you know that unlike Sue and her course going uphill, ours is pretty much all down, so.
I think that's another invitation.
You got
Dave here.
two great invites there.
Let's
We
cross
are-
out the run part.
We are a community that is giving you plenty of opportunity for fitness here, Dave.
Exercise, yeah. I need all I can get, so. I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2025-26B.
I'll second David's motion.
Any discussion, comments, or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nicholas, thank you, and please thank the committee for the Madison Area Run Club for keeping this going.
Will do.
It's a great event.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Resolution 2025-27B, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding street closings for the annual Madison Regatta Water Ball Fight.
Hi, Kim.
Good morning.
Kim Washer is here on behalf of Madison Regatta. Want to tell us a little bit about this event? It seems like it's the same footprint as well as last year, and it's also one of the funnest events during that entire week, in my opinion.
Well, now, come on, we have a whole week of fun.
I said one of the funnest. It is one of the funnest.
It's the annual firefighters water ball fight. Companies from the county, city participate.
I'm in between two firefighters here, so I'm going to keep them
Yeah,
off.
that's right.
And then,
Same footprint.
I might add a past three-time
champion.
champion.
That's right.
It's been a few years ago.
Been a few years.
Been
The
a few.
number threes
We'll get
always
Forrest come on
always
board with us.
represent.
Retired traveling trophy, so.
It'll be hopefully a big fight with Madison Township Fire Department, which is
Yeah.
probably the two-time repeating recent champion
Yes.
of the water ball fight. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Bragging rights. Any questions for Kim?
The only question I've got, we've got, construction will be starting
gonna
on
start
Main
that
Street.
after
So that will be
Regatta
after
weekend,
Regatta
right?
weekend, all right.
So we have postponed mobilizing for our first phase of the Main Street reconstruction
Thank you.
Because of the water ball fight.
because of the water ball fight.
The firefighters appreciate
We did
that.
not want to intervene with the water. That is, like, again, it's one of the funnest events, and it's other than the parade that we host, it's the only event that happens on Main Street, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
So we're bringing the regatta fun off the river onto Main Street.
Yes, we are.
Any questions for Kim?
I'll make a motion, we approve Resolution 2025-27B.
Second David's motion.
Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I will say that Jordan Bear also does an exciting play-by-play
Yes, he does.
of the water ball fight. And he makes it sound like it is literally a major league sporting event. It's phenomenal.
It's pretty good.
It's excellent. All right, and we have are you here for the balloon glow too?
Yes.
All
Want me to
right,
read that?
moving on.
Okay, it's Resolution 2025-28B, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding a street closing for the Madison Regatta Balloon Glow.
Also another really fun event in the
Very.
fall. It seems like this always gets kind of pushed a little bit later, but go ahead and tell us a little bit about this, Kim.
And Balloon Glow will take place on Saturday, June the 14th, in front of the Riverboat Inn. So we'd like street closure from the bridge to Ferry Street, just for, it's a safety thing.
Yeah,
More than
yeah,
anything.
absolutely. It's a well-attended event and pretty cool.
Yeah.
On a great evening. Nothing like watching those balloons glow and seeing all the kids running around just excited about it, because you don't get to see it all the time.
That's right.
I think it's
We
a
have
phenomenal
food vendors
event.
that night as well, music. And
It's a good time. Well, I'll move we approve Resolution 2025-28B. Any comments or questions?
Second your motion.
We have a second. Any comments, questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Kim, thanks. We'll look forward to it.
Kim, will you have food trucks and things
Yes.
at the
food
event? So,
vendors.
Oh, yeah.
okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good time. Bring your golf cart.
Right.
Very golf cart friendly event.
Okay, Resolution 2025-29B,
Brooks.
resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding street closings for the annual Hometown USA Parade.
And before we get into this one, and I would say that for all of the event organizers, really grateful for you bringing these unique activities for our community to enjoy. We've had a lot of conversation about event safety and particularly protecting your event venue from a threat, a vehicular threat. So we're going to do the best that we can to help assist that, but a lot of that responsibility falls on you too, and with your volunteers. So as you're talking with your committees on organizing the event, please pay special attention to how to minimize the vehicular threat invading your space, particularly where you've got a lot of pedestrians interacting there, okay? Brett?
All right, so this year, for the street closings for the parade, we're gonna try to stage everything south of Main, so it'll help with, on Jefferson, and we're gonna utilize the parking lot at the corner of Jefferson and Second, that the Regatta is using as well. And we hope that'll ease traffic flow, and also we'll have concrete barriers across, so it'll be safer as well. So I think it's a win-win as far as safety and traffic congestion, because we won't back up on 421. So
I like that plan a lot. We've experimented with it for the Christmas parade, and it seemed to work really well. It also minimizes, staging on, or eliminates staging on 421 while there's traffic on 421, so, or the detour through the neighborhood. So, if anybody sees or is watching or reading about this, this is a good change, because it really eliminates all of the disturbances that were going to happen in the neighborhood or on 421 or with safety of the participants in the event. It'll eliminate all of that and move it behind Main Street down closer to where the regatta is happening, where there's already restricted access in those areas. So I think it's a good move. Glad you guys suggested it. Any other comments or questions or comments, Brett, about this event?
not about this, but Mayor's Movies in the Park starts Friday. So we'll have the first movie this Friday.
Didn't we have a movie last Friday?
We didn't. No, we did not.
Oh.
No, we have Hoosiers coming
Okay,
up this
gotcha.
Friday before the car show on Saturday. So,
Hoosiers.
Yep.
I'll make a motion we approve the resolution 2025-29B.
I'll second Carl's motion.
Any discussion, comments, or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chief, anything to add? Okay. All right, more to come there, and again, same conversation with the vehicular threat that we've been having about minimizing that.
You still taking applications for the parade?
Yes, yeah, they went live last week, so they can go to madisonion.gov/parade, and they can read the rules there and also submit their application, so.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, Resolution 2025-30B, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding street closing for the Jefferson County Youth Shelter 11th Annual Duck Race.
Is Troy here? Oh, Paul, you here for this? Good morning,
Good
still.
morning. Still a little bit. All right. We're making some changes to the duck race this year. In prior years, 10 of them, the duck race for the youth shelter it has always been one of their focal, or one of their main fundraising events. But however, it has remained small and doesn't necessarily raise as many funds as necessary. In other words, the needs for the shelter have grown, and so have the need for more fundraising. So as the chair for the fundraising committee this year, I proposed to them that we, in the past, the duck race has somewhat been more of a virtual event.
Yeah.
We have it at the Broadway Fountain. It doesn't attract a lot of people necessarily to the fountain, to the event. We sell ducks online, and then they have about maybe an hour's worth of participation with those who choose to come. The engagement with the community is very low and has been very low for however many years. So what we have proposed this year is that we would like the closure for the street from Main to Third, I think it is, which is basically the same setup that would be for the farmer's market. But we are having a nonprofit extravaganza, if you will. So we will have the duck race. If we can gain the closure, we would have the duck race. It would go from, I think, 1 to 5. Honestly, I don't have that in front of me. But what we're doing is we're inviting all of the nonprofit organizations in Madison to join us. And we are not charging them any setup fee. The fee is nothing. We have gained corporate sponsorship, German Americans on board, things like that. And we are encouraging them to set up a booth where they can sell food, do games for the kids, so it's kind of like a family fun day. So we, for example, we have Habitat for Humanity is going to do snow cones. And the lovely part about that is that we are inviting them so that the community will be involved with the event, which will help us have a more successful duck race, but each nonprofit will actually keep all of the proceeds from their fundraising. The youth shelter will not take any of that. So I'm hoping that, or we're hoping, I should say, that if we gather these different entities and we have more of a family fun day, that their participation will increase our fundraising for this event.
Well, I think you're on the right track because more things to do, more options, more people, density, there'll be more people buying ducks.
Yeah, and I'm really looking to increase the community engagement. I think it could be a really, really neat event if we could get the community to come down and participate in this. And in the years past, they have not had a closure. They used the fountain, like I said, for roughly about an hour, I think, for this event. So we're looking to expand it into and our theme would be back to school. The kids will have just gone back to school. We actually changed the date in prior years. It has been on it has been, I think, at 6 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock, I'm not sure, directly after soup, stew, chili, and brew. And I think that was not a good move because I'm at the grime scene and I watched the booths pack up at like 3 or 3:30, and I think it was an unreasonable expectation that people would hang out for another hour or two and then go to this duck race. So I think the date was obviously part of the issue. But we have set it at August the 9th this year, and we have with the good faith agreement with the farmers market that as soon as they are done and they have completely dismantled the farmers market, then we would be right up behind them. We would set up, and then we would, the event would go from there.
Okay. Any questions for Paul?
Sounds like you've got all your ducks in a row.
There you go. Yes, I should have expected that.
Sounds like a great event.
I think it's going to really take off. I do, and we hope that
That was such a quacky joke.
Listen,
I could use this.
Well, I tell you,
Hey, you know what? Birds of a feather stick together.
I make a motion, we approve resolution.
Want to cut these jokes?
2025.
Well, I will tell you what I'm hoping.
Dave, we're on it, man. We're on it.
What I'm truly hoping is that if we can increase the community engagement and we can get more people involved in this, I have big dreams. So my dream is that next year, the 12th annual duck race could possibly be held at Crystal Beach, where then we could include, maybe a Jeep, because the Jeeps love the ducks, something of a car show, or, just increase it as we go. The youth shelter has a lot of needs right now. They do. We've talked about a new building. So if we're going to do stuff like that, we have to increase our fundraising, we have to increase these events. And most importantly, we have to get the community involved with the shelter.
I agree. We had a motion.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion, comments, or questions, or other jokes that would be really funny?
If you make it to Crystal Beach, maybe you can use the lazy river
I know
thing.
it.
Yeah, the river,
I
or the
know.
resistance.
That's my dream. That's my dream.
Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, Resolution 2025-31B, resolution of the Board of Public Works and Safety of the City of Madison, Indiana, regarding street closings for Thornton's Bike Show.
Well, you're not Tammy.
Tammy got big and ugly, let me tell you. Tammy's on her way to New Mexico right now. She
Gotcha.
had a meeting and she said, will you please go do this? And I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll try.
Well, welcome, and what's your name, sir? Welcome, and what's your name, sir?
My name is Myron Barnes.
Myron Barnes.
Yes. So I think this is the 8th one that we've done. Tammy always does the paperwork. I've usually laid out the footprint for her, and then she is in charge of everything else. So it's pretty much going to be the same as it has been the last couple of years. We always did it in front of Crystal Beach, and then when it was under construction, we moved it down by Bicentennial Park, and we would like to continue that.
Bicentennial area's worked out pretty well for you.
It does. We like Crystal. in some ways we like Crystal better because there were shade trees.
Right.
Yeah.
it is,
And there's
yeah.
no shade down there, but just the way that, the way that it opens up there in front of Bicentennial, and the concrete pad,
Right.
it made a great setting,
Yeah.
a great setup. So, yes, we would
And the
like,
Legacy Park down there this year just adds to it. with
Yes.
everything, so.
absolutely. So we just, basically, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for us to do this. And so every year I ask Tammy, are we going to do it again? And I don't know if any of y'all know John Thornton. That's Tammy's dad. He's kind of an icon in the power sports motorcycle business. And John will be 85 in December. And Tammy says, to see the smile on my dad's face, we'll do it as long as dad's smiling.
There we go.
So
That's sweet.
that's kind of where we are.
Myron, have you had good participation in it? And
We've had a few years that were off. We had, I remember 2 or 3 years ago, it looked like all day long, it looked like it was going to storm. They were calling for storms, and that really suppressed the participation. Last year, I couldn't be there. I had to be in Minneapolis at an OEM meeting, and they said they had the biggest turnout they'd ever had. And I said, well, maybe I need to lay off this year. But I don't think it's going to happen. But yes, pretty good participation. We usually have anywhere from 60 to 100 bikes. Now, usually there's a lot more motorcycles than that there because a lot of people ride in. But
Yeah.
as far as display bikes, somewhere between 60 and 100. John's pretty well known in that area. He usually brings 15 or so of his. He has I think the last count, the insurance company made him count them last year for like 418 motorcycles he's got tucked here and there.
Wow.
But some of his real classics he usually brings down, and then the other guys gather in and participate.
amazing.
We have people from Cincinnati and people from Louisville and even over toward Evansville that show up.
It's fun.
It's a good day. We usually have, Troublemakers has been our food vendor the last couple of years. I think this year, I'm not positive they're coming, but Michael Eddy's from Versailles is coming, and I think possibly Troublemakers also.
I'm really hungry now because their grilled cheese
are good.
sandwiches are phenomenal.
Yes, they are.
Any comments or questions for Myron while he's here?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-31B.
I'll second your motion.
Any additional discussion? Hearing none. If Paul was still here, if Paul has grilled cheese sandwiches. Yes. But you have, I was just thinking, I'm coming down for a grilled cheese.
All in favor?
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Myron, thank you very much. 9 events organized right there for the enjoyment of everybody coming and living in Madison, Indiana. And now we'll move to Building Inspector Brian Shaw to give us an update on vacant and abandoned. Morning, Brian.
Good afternoon, Board.
About there?
Yep.
Yep, it is.
More of it's about our demos than really vacant and abandoned. As you know, we met with the homeowner at 755 Plus on a building that Dewey and I have been working on for a long time to get demoed. And happy to say, as of this weekend, it is 3/4
We don't have a
done.
picture of it up there, do we?
No, I apologize.
Okay.
No, I just got them this morning and didn't get a chance to get them to Mindy.
Okay.
They are up there, though, for you, for the board.
So this was a dilapidated, unsafe structure in the alley. It's an accessory building
Yeah. And of course, we had.
that you've worked on for probably at least 2.5 years, very patiently.
Yes, and it went through a sale and a lengthy closing, so, but it's just a good update that we're finally getting that taken care of.
Finally.
Perseverance pays off.
It did. We only have like 3 demo permits active right now, so I'm just gonna give you an update on all 3 of them. Another unsafe structure was 849 East Street. Mr. Chancellor's been
Just-
working on that.
Just north of Royer.
Correct.
Okay.
That is also, when you say Dewey, 3/4% done. And he's working on it diligently, so that should be done the next week or so, I hope. And our last one is 145 Lafayette Street. I spoke with Mr. Kelly this morning, so after this meeting, I'm going down to get with him to see what his final plan is and get something signed where we can finish cleaning up. It is on the ground, but we need to get
Yeah.
that cleaned up and hauled out of there.
Those are all applications by the property owners?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's okay with the board, I want to bring up something here about our demo permits. I think in the future, what I'd like to do is draft up something for you. I'd like for our building permits to only be good for 3 months. And there can be stipulations if we have a bigger building or things like that, they can ask for an extension. But I think that letting our building permits have no expiration date, people can just sit there and not do anything with it. They don't have to apply for another one. So I think I want to change a few things if that's possible. And also the cost of our demo permit. It's only $20. That doesn't cover.
Wait, are you talking about a building permit or a demo?
Did I say
Demo
building? I
permit.
meant demo, sorry.
Okay, so the expiration of the demo permit.
Yes, sorry if I said building, but yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah, on that. 3 months for that, and then I'd like to change the cost of our demo permit. It is now $20, and that doesn't cover our overhead and our expenses at all. I'd like to see residential at $100, and then commercial at $200, and maybe larger if the square footage is, I'd say over 6,000 square foot or something. And I checked, in most of our communities, that's where they're at on their guidelines.
Yeah. You're bringing up a couple of things that we just need to look at the ordinances that dictate that.
Okay.
And if it's an ordinance, it'll go through city council after recommendation from the Board of Public Works, but having a look at it.
Okay.
And I agree with you, there needs to be, guardrails on the issuance of permits. We have them on our excavation permits as another example, where they have to complete the work within a certain period of time, rather than it being open-ended. And I think that makes sense here too. Let's just look for the consistency in the ordinance.
Absolutely. And if I may, I'll give you an update on bicentennial bathrooms.
Yeah, please do.
I was just down there before the meeting. We will have them open for this weekend. We're going to push through, work hard, and I'll stay on top of it, make sure they're open.
Good to know.
Can be a
A
busy
lot of work.
weekend.
We had the ribbon cutting for the comfort station refresh last week, so those turned out beautiful. And the bicentennial bathrooms were in long need, way overdue for an update. It's been probably since the park opened in 2009-ish that those bathrooms have been touched.
And I want to thank the community for their
Yeah.
patience. I mean, I had it about 50% done, then the flood came in, and we had to repaint, work on the floors, clean up. So I appreciate the public's patience, and we'll get it open for this weekend.
That'll be great, because we do have the car show
Yep.
this weekend.
That's all I got.
Any questions for Brian? Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
And move on to Pace. Brenna?
Hi. Okay, so we have a couple of applications.
Might ask you to speak up a little bit in the mic so people can hear you. Thank
We
you.
have a couple of applications
Better.
this time. No, you're okay. Okay, so we'll start off with 1030 Park Avenue. This is a dilapidated structure. A lot of work has already been done on it, but none for Pace specifically. So they are requesting the full amount. And some of the work that they'll be doing is replacing doors and windows, because the ones that are currently there are technically new, but they are very cheap and they're not good quality. They'll be adding support beams for sagging brick. They'll be doing masonry repair, adding a portico to the front, as was historically there, and adding concrete patios to protect the foundation from water damage. They are also, not through Pace, but they are putting an addition on the back where it looks,
Kind of L-shaped there.
yeah.
Where they had to do a demolition on the back, it looks like.
Yes,
This
so-
building had been sat there vacant, unmaintained for 30 years.
I think when they bought it, it was already like that.
Oh.
But they will be putting an addition on that, and they plan to make
Okay.
this their
'Cause
residence.
I was going to say, because the private investment in the project looks way low at $80,000. I mean, what we want to see here is what is the total investment for the project? And what we're contributing to is the total project, even though the costs of our PACE grant are going to eligible items. I mean, we should be listing the total investment.
I think what happened there is they've been working on other parts of it, and they just didn't include that, but I can get a full amount for you.
Would you please? Yeah, because, again, we're helping leverage our investment to a much bigger, I mean, here we're going to bring a dilapidated structure that sat there for 30 years, unmaintained, back into an habitable structure that's going to contribute hundreds of thousands of dollars toward assessed value and expand our tax base. So this is a great project.
This is going to be a good project for visitors coming into Madison.
Yeah.
First impression, and I mean, everybody knows that neighborhood needs all the
Needs a lot of
work that,
investment
yeah,
and cleaning up, particularly before you
So-
get into the city limits.
yeah. This is just a perfect example of what PACE can, how it can benefit.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is 204 East Street. I'm sorry the pictures are in black and white. That's what I was sent, so I don't have color of those. But this is a rehab grant that they're applying for. They want to replace the ceiling of the first porch and the floor of the second story porch. And they want to extend the first floor porch about 3 to 3.5 feet and add railing for that. The condition of it is pretty rotted right now and unstable.
Is this structure occupied now?
I believe so.
Okay, it is.
It's in pretty rough shape at the moment. So they plan to go back with treated wood. So visually, it'll look very similar.
Are they painting the structure?
Yes.
Is that listed up there?
I don't know if they included it in the PACE grant, but they do plan to paint
Well,
it.
I mean, we want to make sure the structure gets painted as a condition of the PACE grant. Again, the goal isn't just to repair, it's to make sure that the structure is, contributing to the streetscape.
I will ensure that
Let's see
that
here,
happens.
523 Jefferson.
I don't see it anywhere.
This is East Street property, right?
Yes. I don't see painting included on there, but I can make that a stipulation for them.
I mean, based on the image you're showing us, it looks like a building needs repainted.
So I can enforce that.
Okay.
Okay, next up is 523 Jefferson. This is also a rehab grant. This is a highly visible property, right when you come in from down the hill. Some of the work that they are planning to do is repair that rock wall that you can see right in the front of that larger picture. It's missing rock in several places and it's sagging and cracking in others. They also plan to repair and repaint the windows. They are not replacing. They plan to paint the whole house and then repair and replace the fascia boards and soffits.
So we're talking about painting the whole house?
Yes. And this one and the next one, I'm actually making a recommendation for additional funding. So originally, we only had $9,039 going into this next round, or this past round. So we ran out very quickly. The first application was 204 East Street, so they received the full funding. But that meant we had $1,539.03 left. But we had two really strong applications.
Okay.
So 523 Jefferson was actually not the next highest score. It was 611 West 2nd Street. This one is another house that a lot of work has gone into already. There's a lot of tuck pointing that needs to happen, brick repair, and window replacement on the front of the house. You can't see it super well in these pictures, but the windows are rotting and they want to, several of them are cracked as well. So they do plan to replace that. And then repainting the tuck pointed brick on the, wherever that is replaced. So my recommendation is that we transfer some money from the 75% target area dangerous dilapidated fund into the general fund. And the total amount for the two projects would be $13,460.97.
13,000,
$460.97.
and what would, with those proceeds, that would increase the applicant for 523 Jefferson to the full 7,500 for the rehabilitation grant,
Yes,
and then give a $7,500 rehabilitation grant to the 204, the 611 West Second.
yes.
Excuse me. I don't have paperwork for 611 West Second. Do we know, or do you all know,
Oh, Harry.
if you are approving something in addition to what's already been approved? I have nothing, and it's going to be tough in the clerk's office.
Well, we can get the paperwork, but I think she didn't include that, because when we talked about it on Friday, I think it's a good recommendation. So the PACE committee would recommend this for funding, but there wasn't funding.
Correct.
So we're being asked to move $13,460.97 from the dangerous and dilapidated pool in order to do two things: increase the award for 523 Jefferson, which we do have paperwork for, we just need to increase the award. And then you would get the approval prepared for us to sign.
Yes.
But we could go ahead and approve it, subject to us getting the paperwork and signing it for 611 West Second Street.
Correct.
So the 611 West Second Street is an additional 13,460.97?
It's
No.
7,500.
7,500.
Oh,
So the 523 would increase from 1539.03 to 7,500. Those are all of the applications.
So two things here. One is approving the three, as well as increasing one of the three, and then adding the fourth, subject to the paperwork.
Correct.
We have 4 applications and not 3 then.
So what we could do, we could go ahead and increase the one we have the paperwork for, and then tentatively approve it and have you come back
Sure.
at the next meeting and just do the same presentation, but have the paperwork in the book. Would
can
that
do
be
that.
okay? Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
that'd be more comfortable.
Yeah.
So I approve the applications for 1030 Park Avenue, 204 East Street, 523 Jefferson Street, and 611 West Second Street.
Or we're gonna do 611 West, yes, you'll approve them, and then we'll
Approve,
bring
yeah.
it back for the
Mhm.
presentation.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And that would be at 7,500 for 523, 25,000 for 1030, 7,500 for 204 East Street, and 7,500 for 611 West Second Street.
Yes.
Before I second your motion, as I was reviewing these this weekend, going back to the 1030 Park Avenue, do you know if the chimneys are going to remain in place?
I believe from talking to them, they plan to keep the chimneys, but they will not be used.
Right, okay. Because I think, the chimneys help set the place. I'd hate to see them.
And
I
it's
think
gone
that-
through zoning, and has it gone through historic board already?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You're gonna miss,
I'll second your motion.
you're gonna miss those blue tarps on those chimneys, aren't you?
There's still a lot of work to do on that end of the town.
Yeah.
Any discussion? Comments or questions? Clerk Treasurer, need any clarification?
This is just to approve the application for 611 West Second Street in addition to the other 3 applications. Okay. And then
Yep.
you'll follow up with paperwork for that.
On the next meeting. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Hopefully we made a couple people happy today.
Okay, so next up is a midpoint for 604 Mulberry Street. He's actually technically further than halfway, but he is putting in for halfway now. This is a dilapidated structure. So far, he has done masonry repair, reconstructed the kitchen addition and the back porch. He's replaced the stairs, roughed in the electric and the plumbing. There's an HVAC now. They've done the floor framing, which is that picture, and then added a new basement floor, which is the other picture.
Wow.
So he's requesting $12,500.
Another great project that's also really improving North Mulberry Street, which was suffering from a lot of decline over many, many years.
I think his next steps are windows and then repainting the outside.
I'll make a motion to approve the midpoint for 604 Mulberry Street.
Second that. Any discussion? Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Mayor, can I go back just one teeny second?
Yeah.
Brenna, this 523 Jefferson Street, the PACE approval paperwork that you've got says that they are going to approve of $1,539.03.
That was the original amount.
She's
Okay,
changing
so
that
it's
to
back to
7,500.
75.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, thank you.
Okay, and now the final. This was the before. They're
Final
requesting-
for 805
Yes,
East
805
Second.
East
Let me
Second,
get to that.
This was a rehab grant. They are requesting the full amount, for $7,500. And they replaced 5 windows, 3 in the living room and 2 in the bedrooms. So that was the before, and then the next slide is the after.
Looks nice. Big change.
Wow. So just emphasizing the point that the painting on the exterior facade on the street side is just really critical to changing and transforming the appearance of the property for the neighborhood. So that's a great outcome.
There are still plans to replace more windows eventually, as her finances allow.
Looks good.
I'll make a motion that we approve the final for 805 East Second.
I'll second your motion.
Any discussion, comments, or
Yes.
questions?
I have a question. So you mentioned 7,500, but you're asking them to approve 7232.88.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then that is the correct amount. Whatever's on there, that's the correct amount.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
805, 723288 was the final. Okay. Came in under budget. Amazing. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks.
Up the street there from 805 East Second, the duplex up there, I see they're starting to work on it again.
The one at the corner
Yeah.
of Harrison and Second?
Do you have you talked, East Second, right before you get to the drainage ditch and all that?
Right before the
I
stoplight.
don't know what I have heard from them.
Okay, I don't
Yeah,
know if
at
you had
this
an
point,
update or
but-
not, but I've seen some activity up there.
Yeah, I have not heard anything yet, so I will look into that for sure.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That's it for new business. I only have a couple of comments, which is we're leaning into festival season, Memorial Day weekend, and that will be a very busy weekend for us. We have a city council meeting tomorrow night, and one of the items on the city council's agenda is the establishment of 2 three-way stops on Bond Drive. At the recommendation of our police chief and members of our traffic committee, we've done a traffic study down there, and that will be discussed at council tomorrow night for Jefferson and Broadway streets to each have a 3-way stop to mitigate traffic concerns and pedestrian safety on Bond Drive. So, let you know that'll be there. And I think that's really all the updates I have for now. Any public comments? Anybody here would like to address the Board of Public Works and Safety, please come to the podium. State your name, address, and your remarks. Our next meeting will be Monday, June the 2nd. We'll move to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second your
All in
motion.
favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thanks, everybody. Nicholas, good seeing you. Thank you.